Teacher
Hello,
Casey.
I'm
And
Teacher Marie.
okay, if you can see, we have smart phonics here, and there already is an instructional video for the use of smart phonics, but a new edition of the book has been released, so we will be using the new edition starting now. There are just some slight differences in the use of, or in the presentation of the new smart phonics book, although the student leveling and the focus would still remain as is.
Similar.
Yes, it's just that we're going to compare the old book and the new book. So here on your left, excuse me, that's the new Smart Phonics, new edition of Smart Phonics, and this is the old one, which is what we have been using up to now. So if you can see there so far, first page, they're the same. The contents are the same, but the layout is kind of changed. So here, it's actually the new book is a little bit more interesting to see because of the bright colors and because the pictures have
The
gotten bigger.
images.
Yes, have gotten bigger. And then on the second page, still the same, if you can notice. It was just modified a little bit. Third, still the same. And fourth one, so you have your exercises there. So it's still find and color the right picture, listen and check, listen and circle. It's a little bit, just a small difference, slight difference, but the focus is still the same. And the next one, see, just the picture and some parts have been changed, but it still looks the same. And then you have writing. So here, to give more guidance to your student, there are the dotted lines. Okay, if you can see, it gets from dark to lighter and lighter so that on the next line, okay, this would give practice to the student, and on the next line they can do it on their own, as compared to this one that they just have to do it all on their own. So more guidance on, or with the new book. Next we have, so this is where the old edition ends, and then you start with the new topic. However, in the case of the new book, there are additional exercises or review of lessons. So let's go over that one. Here, this is still part of the new book. This is the next page. If you can see, still practice on recognition of letters and writing. So it now gives you more writing practice. And
it could be also recognition of image.
Yes, and images that start with the connected with the letters that you're learning. As you know, Smart Phonics 1, it only focuses on the alphabet letters, how they're written, and what they sound like. Okay? So, and simple words that start, or common words that start with that alphabet letter. So, then circle and the correct pictures. And then here, it's still writing. One modification, if you could teach the student names of the things on the pictures, you can also ask them to write that down. So that's also practice in writing and spelling. Just choose the easy ones, because this is Smart Phonics 1, which means level 1, right? The lowest junior, level 0, sorry, the lowest junior level. And then a little bit of coloring, because some kids, they like coloring. So recognition of letters again, the big letter and small letter. And here, the same one, just modification of what you used in the lesson, just exercise. And this time, here, they can draw, if you can see. So you can say apple. If your student can draw an ant, go ahead. They could draw a ball, and then things that were discussed previously, things that start with the letter A, with the letter B, with the letter C. And practice in writing. See, they emphasize, or there's more emphasis on writing, as I've mentioned earlier. And then, this is the last part, you move on to the next unit. So it's like four pages longer, I think, than the previous unit, or the previous book.
And previous version, I think, of the book.
Yes, and it's more of exercise. So you give more time for your students to practice, and maybe you know that repetition is very good for retention. So just try to study and study again, although you try to make it fun. When you
maybe they can insert simple patterns like this is
A, yes, this is it starts with and it starts with like that. This is book 1, and if you've already watched the instructional video for Smart Phonics books, you know that in book 1 you just have alphabet letters, how to identify. Now there are more exercises and writing. In book 2, the differences are more or less the same up to book 5. It's just that variation in exercises, yes, and the focus would be different. So let's just go back a little bit, backtrack to the Smart Phonics book. So as I said, first one is just identification of the letters and their sounds and how they're written. The second book, now you have your short vowel sounds. Okay, third book is long vowel sounds. Fourth book, combination letters of consonant letters, BL, CR, and stuff like that. So exercises are focused on that. And the last book is combined vowel sounds. So as an advice, now after you've read or you've listened to this video, I hope you know and you start using the new edition of Smart Phonics, because it's more or less the same, but just additional exercises. But I think maybe for the old students, it's your choice. You ask them whether they already want to shift to the new edition or continue with the old one, or maybe a good thing to do is finish the old book, and then when they progress to the next book, maybe you could introduce the new edition so that you can give more practice to them. Okay? You want to add anything?
And we can add images as well and other exercises that we can find over the internet just to give, just to spice things up. Because maybe during the first 5 units, the student would be interested in the exercises. But towards the end, it might be a little predictable when it when the student knows the pattern, the layout already.
Okay, so what you do, it's up to you to make your class more enjoyable. Remember, these are kids. Okay, so include play in your lessons.
Yeah, beginners. Yes.
Okay, so don't forget, starting now, let's try when we recommend Smart Phonics, we use the new book. Okay? That's all. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.